11:03. We welcome you into hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for one more hour, and then it is the weekend for all of us. Hope you are surviving your Friday. This is like one of those Fridays where if you are a big college basketball fan, if you are into everything that's going on with March Madness, it is the perfect storm of not getting anything done. It's Friday, so productivity on a Friday is down, I don't know, at least 15, 20%. I get 15 or 20% fewer things done on a Friday than I do the rest of the week. You add on top of just it being a Friday that the NCAA tournament is going on and there's basketball all over the place. I just have the one screen on right now. I have not found a game that is worthy of being the second screen experience. There's 2 games going right now. Memphis is taking on Colorado State and Iowa State's taking on Lipscomb. And you've got a 20-point game for Iowa State. They're up by like 20. Memphis, Colorado State's close here in the second half, so that's the game that I have on TV. But just the one game is enough of a distraction. And I'll tell you, we are the home here of ASU baseball and ASU women's basketball. We have an ASU baseball game later on tonight. But 2 o'clock today, ASU hockey playing the Frozen Face-Off. They play Denver. That's going to be on my television screen in my office. So nothing's getting done today. So if anybody needed me for anything today, you needed to do it before 11:03 and this red light went on today. That was it. Because other than that, I am going to be unproductive the rest of the day. I hope that the Phoenix Suns are not unproductive tonight when they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers to start this 10-game gauntlet that will, I think, determine whether or not they will be a play-in tournament team, whether or not those last 2 games of the year against Sacramento and San Antonio are going to matter. And I also wonder if these final 12 games and the way the team plays, the way the team responds over this 10, 12-game stretch, I think it's going to play a lot into the future of Mike Budenholzer as the head coach next season of the Phoenix Suns. And this has been something that we have talked about a lot here on the show. I think all of us kind of know Kevin Durant's moving on, right? I think we just feel it in our gut that the expectation, despite there being kind of breadcrumbs in some places that say, oh, well, wait a minute, just hold on. Maybe Kevin Durant's not going to go anywhere. Despite those breadcrumbs being out there, I think we all know, I think we're all kind of okay with the fact that this team is going to move on from Kevin Durant in the summer. So I think we kind of take it for granted, and it's not our sole focus for the future. I think Coach Bud's future is somewhat up in the air. I do think there's going to be a healthy conversation, a debate about whether or not the Suns should bring him back next season. And I've put myself on the record here that I would fire Coach Bud at the end of the year. I'm not afraid of 4 coaches in 4 years. I'm not afraid of that optic. I'm not afraid of how it might look to prospective coaches or how it might look to the rest of the league. I hear you. I'm just not afraid of it. I need to make what I think the right decision is for the future of this basketball team. And for me, it would be a clean slate all across the board. But I'm the guy that says there should be changes in the front office as well. I would go clean slate across the board. But I've got some pushback. The YouTube chat has pushed back on me. KDUS AM 1060 on YouTube. You can watch the video version of the show. I've gotten pushback there. I've seen the social media conversation. There are some people out there that legitimately are against the idea of firing Mike Budenholzer because it would be 4 coaches in 4 years and the optics that come with that. And how are you going to be able to hire anybody of note if that coach knows he could be a one and done? That it is kind of commonplace in Phoenix for it to be one and done, that it has been one and done each of the last 2 coaches that were brought here. The coach that the Suns will try to find this summer if they chose this route, it would be a different coaching search than their previous 2 coaching searches. That's why I'm less afraid of what prospective coaches might be available. That's why I'm less afraid of the optic of 4 coaches in 4 years. You are no longer looking for a coach to get you over the top and win you a championship. That's not the end result, the end goal of this coaching search. You need to find somebody who is the right person for this transition period that you think can grow. The last 2 coaches needed to be championship caliber. You got Frank Vogel, you got Mike Budenholzer. This coaching search, this go-around, I'll take a young assistant from somewhere. You want to pluck somebody from college who's a young, hot name in the sport of basketball as a coach? You want to get a young assistant who's a buzzworthy name? I got no problem with that because I want that coach, that young assistant or that young college coach who's going to make the leap to the pros. I want that coach to grow alongside the team that is going to grow as I develop the team around them. I don't need somebody to come in immediately win 45, 50 games. I don't need somebody to immediately come in and compete for the 1, 2, or 3 seed in the Western Conference. I don't need a coach to come in here and it's Western Conference Finals or bust. If you don't make the Western Conference Finals, it's a failure. That's not going to be the expectation on this team. Next year, it's going to be about having fun, watching some young players play, watching the new pieces that are brought in, gel with Devin Booker. You can win more games than you did this year. You can flirt with maybe being the 4, 5, or 6 seed in the Western Conference, but more than likely you're destined for the play-in tournament. That's going to be the sandbox that this team plays in next year. So I want a coach that can come in, work under those parameters, grow as a coach, develop these young players, and then when the time is right, when this team is ready, that coach is ready to take on those expectations. That's ready to take on the pressure of it's Western Conference Finals or bust. If you don't make it to the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, it is a failure. But that's not what next year is going to be. And so that's why I have I don't have any hesitation on making a coaching change. If you want a further piece of proof as to why I have zero hesitation about making a coaching change, just look at the entire season of Ryan Dunn. One player proves my point. Ryan Dunn's season is proof why this team needs a coaching change next season, why there needs to be a new person on the bench for the Phoenix Suns next year. Because over the last 4 games, you have seen everything good and everything valuable about Ryan Dunn. You have seen the difference he can make on the defensive end. He is not somebody that fixes every single problem the Suns have. They are still not a great defensive basketball team, but they are a better defensive basketball team when he is on the floor. Why did he go missing for a chunk of the season where everything was in the balance for the Phoenix Suns? I don't know if it would have ended up this way, but perhaps playing Ryan Dunn during that time when he was missing and playing 21 seconds and then not playing at all and then playing 33 seconds and then not playing at all for a couple of games, maybe if during that stretch you played him, you wouldn't be fighting for your playoff lives right now as the 10 seed and 4 games below 500. Perhaps 1 or 2 of those games, a handful of those games goes your way, and you've got a little bit more wiggle room as this 10-game stretch is about to start. If you want one reason to move on from Mike Budenholzer and to get a new voice, a new vision, a new face on the bench next season, just look at Ryan Dunn's rookie season and ask yourself this question. Do you trust Mike Budenholzer to develop the young players that are on this roster currently and the ones that are going to be walking through that door this offseason, the offseason after that, and the offseason after that? You're going to trade Kevin Durant this summer. You're going to get young players in this building. You're going to get draft picks in this building. You have draft picks in this year's class. So you're going to get young players in the Kevin Durant trade. You're going to get young players in this year's draft, and you're going to continue to add young players over and over and over again, year after year after year. And you are going to enter a period where it is about player development. It is about turning these players into contributors for the Phoenix Suns. Ryan Dunn is a contributor for the Phoenix Suns that was pinned to the bench. And I don't know if we were ever given a reason for that. And if we did, it wasn't a good one because I can't remember it sitting here right now. Anybody listening to this show, in the YouTube chat, 480-864-1060, was there a reason given for why Ryan Dunn was pinned to the bench, and was it a good one? Because I can't remember it. Ryan Dunn is the example to present as to why this team needs a coaching change. Because that's the future of the Phoenix Suns. And not Ryan Dunn specifically, but the idea of young players being developed into contributors. The last 4 games showed you Ryan Dunn isn't just a rookie that's a nice role player for a basketball team. He is a contributor. He has started the last 4 games, and he has made a meaningful impact on this basketball team. He has made a meaningful impact during these last 4 games. He was creating turnover-worthy plays. He was creating things the other night against Chicago. Tonight, if he's in the starting lineup once again when they take on Cleveland, I can bet you that he is going to make some key plays and help on the defensive end tonight against Cleveland. If they are going to pull off this upset tonight against Cleveland, it's going to be because Ryan Dunn helped on the defensive end of the floor and was also the offensive contributor that we've seen him be over the last 4 games, 4 straight double-digit performances. With another one tonight, I think he'll match. He had 5 games in a row earlier this year in double digits, so he'll match that stretch from earlier in the year. I understand how bad it will look to go 4 coaches in 4 years. But the coach you're looking for this go-around is not the same coach you were looking for the last 2 coaching searches. So it is different. There's going to be a longer runway for this next head coach because the philosophy, the vision is going to be different. And I'm sorry, I just don't trust Mike Budenholzer to oversee this transition. I do not trust him to develop young players. And all I have to do is look at Ryan Dunn's rookie season to show me that he is not the right guy for this period.